legacy of the Celts. The Celts were exceptionally skilled craftsmen. The brilliance of their art was in fact unrivaled in the ancient world. They seek technological and spiritual perfection in their arts and crafts. The distinctive form that we all recognize today was developed in the early Hallstatt era. Decorative art filled with geometric patterns like chevrons, concentric circles, and parallel lines. These design-centered techniques, zoomorphic emblems and representations. There's very few representations of complete human figures on a realistic level in Celtic art. This art is much different from the Greeks and the Romans. The Celts reject the realistic approach. But some stone sculptures of Celtic figures have survived. Human faces are a popular motif, but were always given an almost surreal appearance. Now, perhaps like Muslim art, realistic representations of human figures were taboo or forbidden. We really just don't know. The accent is on design, perhaps due to religious prescriptions, not due to inability or lack of talent. In the Latine era, art really begins to flourish. Trade with the Greeks, the Etruscans, the Carthaginians, and later the Latins begins to influence new artistic concepts for the Celts. But the Celts are highly selective in the outside sources that they choose. You have curvilinear style mirrors that are just amazing. Gold neck pieces known as torques. You have falcons, which are stylized animals of coral and red glass. These geometric patterns become even more intricate. The details and ornamentation are intricate beyond belief. Again, similar to motifs of Muslim art. There's inexplicable religious connotations and spiritual symbolism in this art that's not entirely clear to us today. Latine era art concentrates on jewelry and items for domestic use, like combs, glass beads, gaming pieces, harnesses for horses, cauldrons. Perhaps the richest representation of Celtic art is, in fact, coinage. The Celts have their own distinctive and beautiful coins, as I mentioned, by the 4th century BC. The Greeks created the concept of coin usage in the 7th century BC, and the Celts are inspired by them. They try to equal or surpass them in craftsmanship. Many great Celtic coins have survived the ages. The coins were used in all parts of the Celtic world, except Ireland. Coins do not develop in Ireland until the Christian era. They use gold rings as currency until the Christians arrive. The coins are first cast in metal, gold, silver, or bronze, inside a mold of burnt clay. Of course, equal weight is the goal of production. They are then finished manually, hammered between two stamps, usually with images of religious significance. Now, names and human heads begin to appear during the mid-2nd century BC. Personal names of rulers. We know many famous Celtic kings by name. Heads on one side, intricate patterns based on animal motifs on the tail side, so to speak. The heads may be gods and goddesses, or perhaps rulers, male and female. We're not really quite sure. In early Celtic coins, the heads of deities are easily identifiable. In later coins, the heads are of bearded men and women with very elaborate hairstyles or headdresses. Animals on the tail side include horses, boars, lions, bears, cattle, goats, and ravens. Ravens are very, very important in Celtic culture. Now, these zoomorphic emblems possess symbolic and spiritual significance, as I mentioned, that we no longer really know. For example, the man-head horses and the goat-head snakes, which are found in many pieces of Celtic artwork. Severed human heads were also a popular motif. The sheer exuberance and artistry of the coins illustrate many Celtic concepts, and the evolution of their metal working was the foundation of their technological achievement. The Celts experiment over many centuries with smelting and forging techniques, and gain vast knowledge and proficiency in metalworking. Blacksmiths, goldsmiths, silversmiths have very high status in Celtic society. The smith was considered a type of professional and intellectual that possessed some otherworld knowledge and magical skill. Fire, water, and art produces strong metal from rough stone or ore. This is considered a type of magic. The Celtic god of blacksmiths was very important to the culture. This was a triune deity, three gods combined into one. They combined their skills to produce weapons and wheels. You have Goy Benu, who is the smith. You have Luchtop, who is the wright. And you have Credine, who is the metal worker. Three gods in one. Celtic swords, well, could be very elaborate and assembled in as many as 70 components, each item crafted with incredible skill. You have iron, bronze, enamel patterns engraved on the pommel. This is made of horn sometimes. You have glass enameling. Enameling, also used in the production of jewelry, colored beads, and ornaments. Glass animals were very, very popular with the Celts, spinned on semi-molten ribbons of variously colored glass on a rod. Glass beads were very popular. Statues made with glass eyes. There's very, very sophisticated enameling, which fuses glass to a surface of copper alloys. There's lots of different colors here, but the favorite was red. Helmets, bell chains, pendants, dragon-type animals all featured enameling. Their enameling techniques, in fact, would influence the gospel illuminations of the Christian era. The illuminated manuscripts of the Middle Ages have a direct link to the enameling style of the Celts. The Celts, this great civilization, were not only great artists and craftsmen, but they were among the greatest stargazers, astronomers,